So this is the chicken palace where all the chickens have their nighttime security. It's got an automatic door on it, if you remember, one of these dawn to dusk type doors, and it's got a few nesting boxes, but actually you build those and they tend to go where they like. This is a favourite place just up here, and we've got little Minnie up there that's coming out of the cold just to lay an egg. But we are mucking out today, which is a job that Anna routinely does. But one of the jobs I've got to do is seal that opening up properly. We're a little bit worried that things can still get in here at night. So that's the only area that they can possibly sneak in. And in fact, that is the remnants of, well, let me just tell you a little bit about the history of this barn. That is the old gable wall there. So that was the old end of the barn. So in fact, that was just a barred window. So that beautiful opening there was a window looking out onto the fields many years ago. And then this extension was added at some time, probably around the 1860s. And then much later, because this has got a lintel over it, it obviously means that you can knock out everything below that window. So they've knocked out that. And actually in here is a trough, which has been filled in. And what we imagine is that perhaps sheep or other small animals would go through this trough, and there's a big depression the other side, maybe some sort of dip in the wall there, and there's some, you can see a line that's been, something has been rubbing against that for many years, but who knows? Who knows? So, just going to have a look around the other side of that. This is the back side of it. I think the first thing to do is just to clear this and see what we're dealing with. I've opened up what was covering up that opening there. So that is the old window that we were seeing from the other side with the metal bars going horizontally across. And this is the bit below which we've got to seal up, put a frame roughly on either side, and then infill that frame with old timber. Okay, that's that done. It's going to look like I'm going to have to seal the bottom to stop burrowing animals getting underneath. So I might have to mix up some concrete for that. The next stage though, while we're on the timber, is just to tidy these shutters up and then put a strip across the bottom here, because I don't know if you can see there, there is gaps where this is rotten. I'm not going to replace these, absolutely no point. So I'm just going to strap over the top, and it'll also help with the wind flow as well, stop the wind going through. And then finally, if I've got some, a little bit of expanding foam maybe around all these little areas just to make sure that's sealed. But that's good, it's coming on well so far. The wood that it's going into isn't brilliant, so I need to be careful when I go in. That was okay. If this is the original shutters, it's got this pin here that used to live. There's an eye there, but somehow that's got bent, and a bit of leverage under there. Would you look at that? There we go. That's great. Okay. Look at that. Ooh. She doesn't quite know what it is, does she?
She's tidying her feathers up.
She's tidying.
You're so cute, Annie.
So is that another one?
That's another one. I've just extended it a bit because she needs to be able to, I want her to be able to fly and sunbathe properly without hindrance. Yeah,
if people came round here now and saw that, they would think we're a bit odd.
Yeah.
But if you've kept chickens, that's what you would do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Saddlecloth, yeah.
Save her back, yeah. I'll save it. I want her feathers to grow back. Come on, off we go. Let's go. Come on, Annie, good girl.
So if you remember, Annie is the orphan that Anna has raised from the egg. She actually had the egg in her bra when it was just finishing incubating, because her mother abandoned, she had many eggs. Her mother hatched 2 or 3 of them and left this one behind, and then left the nest with the newborn. But Annie was just about to come out, so Anna had to rescue her. So she kept her in her, body warmth to finish off the incubation. And then she hatched. And of course the first thing that she saw was Anna. So Anna becomes mum. And so they're absolutely inseparable. And the reason we've got those, I'm not in any way an expert on this. Anna deals with all the husbandry for the animals, but she gets picked on. She's quite good looking, and the cockerels quite like her. So she's been mounted far too many times, and it's made her back raw, where they've pulled the feathers out and things. They're just a bit boisterous, and so Anna's bought those. That's actually a bought product for that, and it gives them some relief on the back. Yeah, so don't think we're odd. It's just the best way to care for the animals. And I've said this before, they lay more eggs than we can possibly eat, and the quality is amazing. So, we get it. We get the kindness back. We get it given in the most yolkiest, yellowest eggs for breakfast. So in the distance there is Tim and Minnie, one of the small Anconas. Tim is a cockerel, and he's a little bit dense. He's the same age as Annie, he's quite young, but he's not the smartest of cockerels. But he absolutely adores Minnie. They're inseparable too. They've decided that the goose house is much better for them. They've kind of stolen the goose house, and she's already started to lay eggs, so Anna's quite relaxed about that. We're going to leave them to it. Now I have actually got some expanding foam, fresh can, so I'm going to zoom around now and do as many of these openings as I can. So the last job to do, just to mix up some concrete just to fill in this side, just to stop any burrowing animals getting through. That's what we're going to do now. Geese don't like the mixer at all. Okay, so just to recap, the idea of putting that concrete in is so this is so soft here, we don't want any burrowing animals going underneath our door as they're used to coming in and being able to come up. So it's a good couple of feet in. It's going to be covered so you won't see it. Hopefully that'll do the trick, because we think it's polecats, which are a protected animal, so we can't trap them. And obviously we wouldn't want to poison them or anything, but we can't trap them, kill them, or any way interfere with them because they're protected. But they're quite, once they've got like a drive-through, like this is for them, they'll come back. So it's about prevention rather than interfering with nature. It's about stopping them getting to our chickens. Okay, the last job to do is just underneath the door. There is quite a large gap, and unfortunately when I built that door, I don't know if you remember, if you watched the video where I made all these doors, this concrete floor has been poured at quite a significant angle, and that was quite a challenging job for me to scribe that all the way down and to allow enough room for it to move. So I've just got some felt. I'm going to do a quick weather strip under there, and that then should stop the draft coming through at night. It's a bit messy, the door needs to be cleaned, but I don't know if you can see that. But that's pretty much scribed or hits the ground, so that will stop the draft at night time for them. So I would say successful mission. There is a bonus. Let me show you quickly the bonus from today. When I had my concrete mix done, there's been an annoying gap on that threshold. Been upsetting me for a long time. You see it every time we come into the house. So I use some spare concrete just to fill that void. So that's our bonus project today. So hopefully that should help us save the chickens from the pine martens, not polecats. And it's reminded me I made a mistake. It's pine martens that we have here. I think polecats are very similar. Maybe they're in the same family, but I think they're an American model. So we don't get them here, but the same applies. They're protected. So hope you enjoyed that. If this is the sort of thing that you enjoy watching, do subscribe. We're going to keep going with our content, sharing our lives here, from our chateau down to our French farmhouse. Thanks for watching, and until the next time, bye bye.